Hello, 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 hello. What's up, everybody? How we doing on this Monday afternoon? Everybody good? Welcome, welcome. My name is Sam Oches. I am the editor-in-chief of Nation's Restaurant News. It is my pleasure to be here presenting as part of the Keg Champion Awards. Now, there should be right up here, before I jump into my spiel, I want to point out this QR code right here. Be sure to scan this QR code. You could enter to win for a chance to win a kegerator. Be sure to scan that code now. We'll also have it up at the end of the presentation. Like I said, I'm really excited to be here today to present the USA Keg Champion Awards ceremony. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be handing out some awards that are recognizing best-in-class draft programs, but we're also going to be learning some best practices from our award winners. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is this guy who is the editor-in-chief of Nation's Restaurant News talking about draft programs? Well, here's where I think this is a really important time for draft. So we all know the statistics. We all know that alcohol consumption is down. That is true. Sales are down. However, I think there is reason to be optimistic, particularly in the restaurant industry. According to Draft Beer Report from NIQ and Draftline Technologies, on-premises sales by volume, beer sales by volume, has increased the last couple of years. Draft also grew its share of retailer dollars by 3 percentage points between the first quarter of 2025 and the first quarter of 2026. It is now at nearly 57%, according to the National Beer Wholesalers Association. The opportunity is very clear in restaurants, and I want to tell you why. If you walk around this show today, if you've been here all weekend, you'll know that one of the big themes for restaurants this year is experience. The way for restaurants to differentiate themselves from their competitors is to have a great experience. Guests want more than just cheap and fast. They want value, but experience is a part of that value equation. Data from the National Restaurant Association shows that the off-premises boom that started with the pandemic has very likely plateaued. It is evened off, and now what we see is more consumers are actually wanting to go on premises for more of their experiences, and while they're spending less dollars because of surging gas prices and other economic factors, they are prioritizing in-restaurant dine-in experiences, which is why it is so important to prioritize a draft program that provides a great experience for the guest. And we are going to learn all about some of those in this session, Pouring Profits with Winning Draft Strategies. Now, before we jump into this, though, it is my pleasure to welcome up onto the stage Alexander Brand, the chairman for the Steel Keg Association. Alexander, come on up.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah. Thank you very much. So I'll also like to congratulate you to the team who done all the preparation for this event, and we're pretty happy to be here. It's a bit of a different approach because at the moment we're still talking about this hero. This is a product we're talking about. It's a steel keg, and but it's more a hidden champion. It's something that goes in the background, but it really has a huge impact on your businesses. And this is what we're trying to achieve, to motivate you to really consider what we're presenting. So, okay. Can we?
One more click.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I need to go back. Right. This is. So now I want to present who's representing this Steel Keg Association. We're first of all having Micromatic, probably most known to you as a target group, representing the draft side of the business. Then we're also represented by Thielmann. Thielmann is a long-standing company to make these stainless steel kegs. And then there's another player that is also very relevant for you. It is Microstar and Kegstar. Those companies are specialized in acid pooling of the products of kegs to make them available for you in the most flexible way and in the most circular way. And the other company also as a founding member is Blefa. I'm representing Blefa as a CEO, but it's a company located in Germany. We're making those stainless steel kegs since 1968, so it's a product that's has a long history, but it's a proven product and it's something that really makes sense in our distribution. We could also convince other members to blow the same horn, to also have the same message transferred. And these are, for example, a company called Sunny Beer. It's a new way of hygienic draft lines. And there's another company who's making the cleaning and filling lines for beer kegs. And Free Flow Wines, who open up a new category for the use of stainless steel kegs, especially for wine. So that means they have decided to have a pool of kegs providing to the wineries to give them access to a distribution. And I think the main success about it is that wine in kegs is really something that is way more profitable and way more efficient in handling compared to wine in glass bottles. So a lot of applications and a really interesting business to be in. So what we stand for is at the same time what we are honoring now. So we've been searching for companies who can act as the ambassador for our main messages. And of course, it is important to drink draft. In the first place, we're honoring circularity. That means it's a product that can be used several times and is in a circular economy rather than something that you manufacture for just a one-way use. The other one is durability. You can imagine that this kind of keg can last a very long time. There's a warranty, for example, for more than 30 years, and that gives you a certainty that the product has to be durable in the first place, but also lasts for a very long time. And efficiency is something that probably comes alongside with it. A product that is in the market for such a long time will also be very efficient. So especially in handling and all that stuff is something that is an outstanding value of our product category. And sustainability is something that everybody has to consider. Everybody has to make sure that we're working towards a better planet. And using an asset for such a long time is extremely sustainable, and it also, and that's a good part of it, it's nothing that you have to do in order to be sustainable, but on the sacrifice side with economy, it is something that really plays on both areas. So this is what we are able to present. And it has already been the third event that we're doing for the Keg Champion. We had one in the US and another one in Europe already. And you can see the guys who really see the value in the keg itself and all the applications that come along with it. So we're really interested to learn more about the new Keg Champions.
Yeah.
It's a third generation now.
Yes.
And I would like to hand over to Sam.
Excellent. Thank you, Alexander. Appreciate that. I'll take that microphone from you too. Thank you so much. All right, you guys ready to give out some awards? Y'all, this is the first session where I'm not just welcome, but I'm actually encouraged to drink beer while I do it. I hope you all got beer as well. We're going to be toasting to our winners. Really quick, though, before I do that, I want to quickly say who the jury was. Aside from myself, we had a wonderful jury selecting the USA Keg Champion Awards. I will just skip through this really quick. You see them up here. If you see them around the room, say hello. Thank them for picking some excellent winners. That's our jury. All right, everybody, let's get into some awards. Now presenting the winners of this year's USA Keg Champion Awards. The winner for local Chicago restaurant Moody Tongue, Chicago Culinary Brewery. Let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about Moody Tongue.
I think what's really wonderful about draft beer, for me, draft beer at your brewery evokes freshness.
That's for you.
The beer is created 20 feet away, and then it's transported right to the draft line here. It doesn't get any fresher than that. The experience is we choose your beers, and chef choose the food. We bring them together through pairing, so you actually can just sit back and relax and just enjoy the menu. It's 2 to 3 ounces per pour, and you're having about 10 beers. It's wonderful. Quality at Moody Tongue is the utmost focus of what we do here. Having the right vessel to serve really the core of our business, which is beer, is incredibly important. Being responsible within the environment is also something that we're very serious about as well. So it's great to be able to work with kegs. The draft program's been great for Moody Tongue. It's really a part of who we are. It's a part of the service, the presentation, and the overall guest experience. I think it's a celebration of really what we've done. And our team works so hard. And it's nice to be recognized. Come visit us. We want to show you what we do with our beer. We want to show you how we pair it with our food. You are all welcome. And we look forward to raising a glass of beer and drinking with you. Cheers.
Awesome. Amazing. A big thank you to Sarah Gabler of MicroStar for presenting the award to Moody Tongue. And on behalf of Moody Tongue, we have Jared Rubin, the co-founder and brewmaster. Jared, cheers.
And cheers to you, Sam.
We'll do it secretly behind this giant green keg. Jared, how does draft beer really complement what you're doing with the culinary experience? Because you're balancing both the beer flavors and the food flavors here. How does the beer really play a role in that?
What I love about draft is that you can see it and the guest can see it, right? And so I think it allows the guest to really feel a little bit more connected to the beverage, and there's just a level of freshness that you get with draft, right? And I think it's also pretty visual. When you see someone pull the draft, you see the stream of beer go through, you've got the head retention, then you're giving that to the guest. I think for me, it's very similar to being able to see the chef cook, see that dish come out, and then be presented towards you. So There's a lot of similarities.
Sure. How do you maintain optimal flavor and freshness with your beer at Moody Tongue?
We clean the lines often.
Yeah.
That's right. That's worth clapping for, right? Clean lines. Everyone deserves that.
Sure, yeah. Well, and you guys also brew your beer in the same place where you're serving it. Tell me how that draft system really helps to protect that optimal flavor.
How the draft system? Well, I want to touch upon something else, Sam.
Please.
You had mentioned like creating food in the same space that you're brewing beer.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice when you have two creators in the same space and they're communicating. I think overall your finished product is a lot better because in our restaurant, chefs love beer, and guess what? The brewers love food. So with that bond, I think the overall experience is just a little bit closer. But to directly answer your question, I think it all starts with clean kegs, clean draft lines, and also a strong understanding of how to maintain the taps.
Yeah. I mentioned before, experience is so important today to restaurants especially. How are you creating, with the draft program, this great experience for the customer to get them to come in your doors?
I think educating our team members, not only that we have draft beer, but what's on the drafts, what's on the taps, being able to speak to different beer styles, the flavor and aromatics behind that, and glassware. I think what we do really well is showcase each beer in a different piece of glassware. It allows you to take an extra second to smell, if you feel like it's swirling, or just to drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, cheers to Moody Tongue. Thank you so much, Jared. Let's give a round of applause to Jared. Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up, we have a winner for you. You might take your keg with you. They have to check this at the airport when they're flying. Well, Jared doesn't have to go very far, so you're actually in good shape. All right, next we're presenting the award for the Brewery Award, ladies and gentlemen. And this year, the award for the brewery goes to Fiddlehead Brewing Company. Let's hear it for Fiddlehead Brewing Company. Let's learn a little bit more about Fiddlehead.
I'm here to tell you that the on-premise is
Welcome.
alive and well. Draft beer is going nowhere.
All right, we got the whole crew. Come on in.
I've done every single job in the brewery, from filling the kegs to cleaning the floors
He's
to
gotta fill those
brewing
fast.
the beer. I know what it takes and how hard it is. The most important value in beer, or really anything you do in life, I feel, is quality. Do a quality job and do it consistently. We're in this for the long run. We're going to be making beer, hopefully for many generations from now, and we're going to do that by making the freshest quality product. We've got a incredible sales team here at Fiddlehead Brewing Company. And their focus, although it is only 40% of our business, 90+% of their focus is in the on-premise, trying to land those bars and restaurants. We really are out there every day trying to preserve our draft business, and not only preserving but growing it. And in 2025, where craft beer was down, the industry was down 5% in America, we were up 10% as a company, and 3% of that growth was draft. We have a very healthy draft business, and we feel that's the best way to enjoy our beer.
All right, let's hear it for Fiddlehead. All right. And thank you to Justin Willenbrink of Micromatic for presenting to you the Keg Award. There you go. Who wants it? All right, nicely done. And accepting the award is Matt Matteo Cohen, the founder of Fiddlehead. Cheers. Welcome to the stage, and cheers. I don't know which one's yours. I don't know which one's mine. I'm going to let you pick.
I think that's mine.
Okay, well, you know what? We're all friends here. All right, so Matt, the vision from the jump with Fiddlehead. Yeah, there's your microphone. Thank you for remembering that. The vision from the jump was always draft only. Why was that the vision for you at Fiddlehead?
Well, I always feel that that's where legacy brands are built, in the on-premise. And once you obtain those draft lines, which are hard to get, you can really make a business out of staying on draft, providing a great product at a great price. And that's just the best way to drink beer.
Sure.
When you're out with your friends, you're at a bar, you're at an account, you're at a restaurant, you're having a good time, chances are. And that reflects on the beer, and it makes the beer taste that much better if that's possible.
Yeah. I know you had to pivot to cans during COVID.
We did, yes.
But draft is still very, very much a significant portion of what you're doing.
Yeah, so prior to the pandemic, 85% of our business was draft.
Yeah,
And when the pandemic hit, we had over $1 million worth of draft beer in the market. I bought all that beer back and dumped it, because we're all about quality at Fiddlehead.
Sure.
And now I'm like, oh, okay, what do I do? Do I just sit around and wait for the market to open again, or do we pivot?
Yeah.
And we pivoted to cans. Again, that's not the way I always envisioned my beer to be consumed, but that was the market that was available at the time. And fortunately for us, we grew our business 25% that year.
Amazing.
And then draft started roaring back. And today we find ourselves at a very healthy 55-45 split between the heavier being packaged, but drafts being very, very huge part of our business.
How are you leaning into draft today to kind of broaden your consumer base?
Well, there's a lot of opportunity out there. You know, the pandemic did kind of force a lot of our competitors into package, and a lot of them remain there because of higher margins, et cetera, or whatever the reason was. But for us, we needed to get back to draft. We needed to go back to the account. So there was a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of opportunity today in the market.
Sure.
And when I advise people on, you know, I want to start a brewery or I want to grow my brewery, I always tell them the on-premise is the place to do it.
Yep.
And draft beer is your ticket to that on-premise.
You mentioned dumping beer for the sake of quality.
Absolutely.
How do you continue to ensure your quality standard is high?
Well, we work with great partners. We always demand cold storage for our product, not only for our draft products, but also for our package. It can be extremely limiting on our ability to grow our market, but we're here for a long time, and it's a really slow burn. But
Sure.
we do find ourselves today as the 17th largest craft brewery in the country at a nearly 10,000.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you see for the future of draft beer?
It's coming back.
Yeah.
We've got to get back to the happy hour culture. We've got to get back to beer culture. We've got to double down on it. It's not the time to run and hide. We need to really attack it, create more opportunities for people to go out and enjoy great draft beer, and tell every one of your friends, go out there and drink draft beer.
Done and done. I'm doing my part. All right, let's hear it up for Matteo and the team from Fiddlehead.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You got to take the cake. Sorry, that doesn't stay here. All right, moving on to our next award. The next award is for Draft Innovation. And this year, the award for Draft Innovation goes to Honda Center and Valid Fill. Let's hear it for them. All right, let's watch a little bit more about the Honda Center's Valid Fill.
During any event, the guests walk up and transact at the register to make a purchase for 1 cup that is eligible for 2 pours.
Oh, sure.
The RFID chip inside the
Sign me
cup
up.
is already enabled for 2 pours. The guest transacts 1 time, and they help themselves to the wall of beer taps.
Appreciate you.
The coolest part about the technology is that any type of beer, it doesn't matter if it's an IPA or a lager or an ale or a seltzer, the system is actually programmed to be able to understand the viscosity of the beer and actually tilt the cup at the right time and allow for the perfect pour. So we have 2 of the systems installed now in the building, 2 different sides of the building, and ever since install, we've seen no less than 500 pours per location on a minimum. So, on a traditional beer portable, we're probably transacting 200 transactions and maybe 300 pours, but now we could be up to 1,000 pours and 500 transactions. So it's really, it's definitely increased the throughput and increased the volume of beer sold in our building. I think with innovation, with everything that comes with creativity, there is an expectation that you are going to do it again and do it with something different and better. And so with this, I think this is the start of engagement with fans for their pour. And I think for the next thing that we want to look to do is seeing what else we can serve in an automated pour system. May it be wine or cocktails. It will allow for innovation to continue.
All right, let's hear it for Honda Center, powered by Valid Fill. Joining us on stage is Greg Edelson, the president of Valid Fill. Greg, welcome and cheers. Congratulations. You are missing something, which is Brian Van Holten of Micromatic is going to bring up your keg. Bring it on up, Brian. Congratulations. Just what you always dreamed of. You can pop it right here. Come on. Put it right there. Yep. All right. All right, Greg, here you go. All right, Greg, I've mentioned this word experience a number of times. The experience to customers is so important to that value equation. Tell me, how does self-pour really enhance the draft experience for customers?
Yeah, good question. There's a lot of self-pouring systems out there, and since we're talking about experience, self-serve. I'll step back. We all know that draft beer is the best, the freshest, and the best tasting brand presentation for draft beer, but that assumes two things, right? It assumes that I know the recipe of that head recipe for that brand, and that I know how to pour a beer. So if I'm the brewery, I'm not that excited about self-serve unless somebody can pour it brand specific. So that's what you saw in the video. In a Honda Center, they're trying to wow people, right? And their fans, and they of course have a different pour pattern for every one of the different beers. So, self-serve, served perfectly or served recipe perfect is just a great experience, and that's really what they've done, and that's really why they've had this tremendous per cap revenue success and fan delight.
So tell me from the operator's perspective then, what is the advantage in self-pour for the operator like the Honda Center?
Yeah, it's easy. Of course, it's speed of service. They're doing thousands of transactions without really having a transaction at the head with no labor. So that's a big win for them. There's that, I'll call it, there's no waste, right? The way Merrick-O-Matic has the keg set up, you do a pour off, fix the fob, and there's literally no waste. And there's no human error because I don't have a server or a consumer who may not know how to pour a beer foaming over. Operationally, you're shifting that labor to ambassador the brands and actually interact with the consumer as opposed to hustling and sweating.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like driving demand from customers, driving demand and traffic, it seems like this actually adds a component of fun too, right?
Yeah, they're cheating, right? They're delivering in a really awesome souvenir vessel that celebrates the Ducks. So you're elevating the beer brand by pouring it recipe perfect. You're doing it in a Ducks cup. You're in that building to root for the Ducks, right? Mm-hmm. So you're doing it with a Whirly souvenir vessel that's awesome. There's a bit of a wow factor there because it's a bit of a show. You're just putting it on and letting it go. You're not going to be embarrassed in front of your date if you don't know how to pour a beer. And it's just fast. So it all works. It all works.
Why do you think restaurants or breweries should be excited about the potential of self-serve pour?
Yeah, I think consumer engagement and doing things brand perfect is the most important thing. So engage the fan. I just told you the 3 ways they do it. The Honda Center would say everywhere we put it, we drive per cap revenue to crazy levels. So, for large venue operators, a per cap increase for each location of $1.60 for everybody in the building. That's a significant increase for every event. So per cap, that's how they're all measured, is per cap revenue, and they're really crushing that. But the other one is they've got significant brewery partners, right? We're elevating the brands, right? That's what an operator does. It's an opportunity to sample and introduce your brands. So if you think of Orange County, they've got Brewery X based in Orange County. They're presenting all the Brewery X brands maybe better than they could in their own brewery. We've got a big digital image of each of the flavors or each of the brands as you approach the venue. I think you saw that in the video. I pour in it brand perfect, and it's really fast, and it's not annoying, and you're buying them in advance so you move quickly. So the brewery is an important partner. Golden Road at one location, and the other is Brewery X. So unbelievable partnership, unbelievable brand presentation. That's a huge win for everybody.
Absolutely. Let's hear it for Valid Phil at the Honda Center. Greg, congratulations. Thanks so much. Take your keg, my friend. You can have your beer as well. Brian's got you. We got you. Yeah, that's great. That's all you? Thank you, sir. I got you. All right, moving on to our next award. The winner for the award in National Restaurant. Now, I like this category. We're talking my language. The winner for National Restaurant in this year's Keg Awards is Ford's Garage. Let's hear it for Ford's Garage. And let's learn a little bit more about Ford's now.
It's amazing how resilient draft has been over the decades and actually centuries in the restaurant industry. Draft has always been a key component of the Ford's Garage brand. Every restaurant, starting with the first one in downtown Fort Myers, features either a Model A or a Model T behind the bar. And immediately behind that, a beautiful penny wall with 20 to 40 taps in any one restaurant. From the very beginning, it was important to the Ford's Garage brand that we were both local and national. And you'll feature things on our menu that are local and national products. A great example is that we have craft beers from all over the nation as well as our local neighborhoods. Our draft is a key component of our profitability of our business. It's kind of effective and efficient as it comes in higher volumes, has lower waste, and we can give it to the guest at a lower cost. We understand that the Ford's Garage experience is very celebratory and people gather in groups to hang out at our restaurant. Having choice and variety is really important, and the draft selections is a big part of that. We currently have 34 restaurants in 8 states and a lot of teammates that work hard every day to deliver a great experience. And to be recognized for this award is a lot of pride in our team. So thank you once again, and cheers.
Cheers, and welcome to the stage from Ford's Garage, Rick Beach, the Vice President of Construction and Design. Come on up, Rick. Congratulations. This is for you, and presenting the award for Ford's Garage is Ted Carrick of Free Flow Wines. There's your keg, Rick. There we go. All right, come on in here. Yeah, that's probably smarter. We can keep it down there. All right, Rick. So tell me about Ford's Garage. I mean, how has the bar experience really lent this great personality and vibe to Ford's Garage?
Yeah, so I think originally when they started it, they wanted something completely different and comfortable for people to sit at and just different than anybody else was doing. So a couple things that we do, we spend more money in our bar area than most restaurants probably do. Our bar finish is a hand-hammered copper bar top. So, I mean, they lay all that copper on there, and then guys take ball bean hammers and beat up the bar top before they bring it out to the job site. The other thing we do with Micromatic's help is we put an ice rail into the bar top. So when you're sitting there enjoying your drink, you can put it on an ice rail, and it actually is going to keep it colder while it's sitting there, and that's completely different than any other restaurant's doing.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, since we're owned by, or we're a partner with Ford Motor Company, we take one of their vintage 1939 or earlier Model A or Model Ts, as you saw in Billy's picture, and we put it up on pipes over the bar.
Sure.
So the wheels spin, the horn honks, smoke comes out the back when the bartenders get a good tip. And so I think it's just a great experience for somebody sitting there enjoying their beer.
Absolutely. Remind me, how many taps do you have at Ford's Garage bars?
So we started with 40, but we've kind of dropped that back down to about 28. So we do 28 total bar taps. 3 of them are white wine, one of them's a nitro, and then 24 beers.
So wine on tap too. That's a big part of
wine
Ford's
on tap
success.
too.
Yeah,
sure. So and the quality of the wine on tap is getting better and better, and it's really, really good. So
sure. It's a great opportunity. Okay, you're a construction guy.
Yes.
Tell me about constructing the bars. I mean, designing these things. How do you emphasize the draft program through the design of the bar?
So it gets a little complicated because we have to build the bar, but then in order to put the ice rail in, we have to have glycol lines come to it. It's all got to be underground, and then all of the lines to help drain the ice rail. Every night that ice rail will defrost, and all the drainage has to go down into the plumbing system. And so that can't go inside the bar wall. It has to go outside of it. So the measurements and the complexity of building just the bar wall can be a little cumbersome, but we've got it down to a science now.
Excellent. A science that is now an award-winning science. So,
yes, sir.
Rick, congratulations to Ford's
Yes, sir.
Garage.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll grab that. That's your beer if you want it, my friend. All right, thanks so much, Rick. Okay, moving on to our next award. The award for draft growth goes to a little brewery by the name of Guinness. Let's hear it for Guinness. I've heard of them. I've heard they're pretty good. All right, let's hear just a little bit more about Guinness.
Draft means everything to Guinness in today's market. Our most famous beer, Guinness Draft Stout. My goodness, we have draft right there in the name of the beer. Guinness is a brand that has been built in the pubs, in the bars, in the restaurants. And there is nothing more authentic, not just to Guinness, but to the beer world overall, than a perfectly poured pint from a tap, from a draft system. So for us, our beating heart, who we are at our core, exists in the pub and exists in that beautifully poured pint directly from the tap. Quality has been messaging that we have sent out for hundreds of years, quite literally. If you look at the first advertisement ever issued for Guinness, it was in a national newspaper in 1929, and smack in the middle in bold lettering. What does it say? Because of quality and quality alone, the Guinness Brewery has grown to be by far the largest in the world. Investing in the on-premise is a no-brainer for us. That's where our brands are built. That's where Guinness Draft Stout is most at home, is in that beautiful pub, in that restaurant, in that bar, where bartenders are taking great care of it. We're always going to invest in the on-premise because we know that's where the stories are told. People are going to find our beer in the off-premise, there's no doubt about it. But the on-trade is where magic happens. That's when we're able to really lock in to those things that are a huge part of our identity. There's nothing better in the world. And that moment when you see that beautiful beer, I'm biased, I think it's the most beautiful beer in the world. But when you see that beautiful beer sitting on the end of the bar, waiting for that surge and settle to take place, there's nothing more perfect in the world than that.
Let's hear it for Guinness. All right. Excellent. Welcome, Team Guinness, and especially Ryan Wagner, National Ambassador and Head of Beer Quality. Presenting the award is Jen Hawk of Draftline Technologies. All right, Guinness. Excellent.
Thank you.
It only took 267 years, but
finally
you finally
did it.
won an award.
We're finally here.
We knew you could do it. Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
267 years. How does Guinness stay so relevant?
Oh, I think it's quality. I think that's what it boils down to. You know, Guinness is having a moment right now. We're very fortunate that Guinness sales have been increasing over the last few years, and there are more bars pouring Guinness in the United States right now than at any point in our history. And I think anybody that tells you they know the exact reason why is probably lying to you. There's a lot of little things that combine to make this moment happen. But at the end of the day, if the beer wasn't good, nobody would care.
Yeah.
So I think quality is really where we live. That's a huge part of our DNA.
I mean, we all know what's going on, the trends in beer right now. Why do you think Guinness meets this moment so perfectly?
It's because we exist where people come together. And I think over the last couple of years, we've all been given a violent shove away from the things that we love. And I don't think you truly understand how much something means until you don't have it anymore. And Guinness existing in the pub, Guinness being a part of those moments, surrounded by friends, surrounded by the things and people you love most. We've always been at home there, but now people are realizing how important those moments are. And Guinness is ready to join them in those moments.
All right, you mentioned quality. Obviously, quality is so important to Guinness's success. But after 267 years, how do you continue to protect that quality?
I think it starts with our brewers. And, you know, luckily we're joined by our two brewers here in Chicago, Nate and Rachel over here. Look, our job is as quality experts in the field when we go into pubs and bars and we're making sure the beer is pouring as well as it can. Our job is to make sure that the beer is exactly the way the brewers intended it to be when it arrives in the glass. So for us, that means working internally, building our education systems, making sure that we're training people the best way possible and giving them the most consistent messaging possible. And it also means working with partners like Micromatic. I mean, we see these guys sitting out here right now. We couldn't do what we do without them. All of the draft equipment being pristine, all of those touch points that the beer hits when it travels from Dublin here to the U.S. I mean, gosh, a journey of 5,000 miles can get really messed up in the last 50 feet from the keg to the glass. So making sure that everybody is pushing in the same direction, that's how we maintain that quality.
You mentioned that Guinness is served in more bars now here in the United States than at any point in the history. Why is that on-premises experience so important to the Guinness brand?
Oh, I'm going to hand it to Owen on this one. You do, yeah, do it.
Thanks, Ryan. So I think the on-premise is so key for Guinness. First of all, Guinness is the world's most identifiable beer. You walk into the on-premise and you'll recognize a pint of Guinness when it's sitting on the counter in a sea of lagers and ales. But Guinness is so easily identifiable. But also on top of that, it's also spotted in 2s and 3s. So it's one of the world's most communal drinks. People enjoy the round. People enjoy drinking Guinness together, and it's that community that's bringing everyone together that we really thrive in.
Yeah.
And again, that last 50 feet, making sure that pint every step of the way is perfect, that's key.
How is that on-premises experience especially important to reaching new customers, like younger customers, Gen Z today?
So with Gen Z, I mean, we see in a post-COVID world that Guinness is exploding. So we're up over 20% over the last 52 weeks in the on-premise by volume. So Guinness is by far and away exceeding every other beer that's in the United States at the moment in growth. And people aren't afraid of it anymore. So people see that it's just a wonderful beer. And hold on, Ryan's got a point.
I got a fun story. You talk about the younger generation, and this is one that I tell all the time because it was a mind-blowing moment for me. I was at one of our most famous pubs in New York, a bar called Swift, where they pour an unbelievable amount of Guinness. And as I'm sat at the bar, it was a crowded night. There was loads of people in there. This young woman comes up and kind of like gets in between me and the guy sitting next to me at the bar, gets the bartender's attention, says, "I'll have a high noon." And the bartender said, "We don't carry that, sorry." She said, "It's all right, I'll have a Guinness." And my head snapped around. She got her pint and she walked away, and I looked at the bartender and I said, "What the hell was that? High noon, I'll have a Guinness." And he said, "You got no idea, man. Guinness is the new vodka soda."
Whoa.
I want a t-shirt that says that. Right? So there is, I think the younger generation is not only locking into those moments that Owen was talking about, those occasions that bring people together, but they're also finally the first generation that is believing us when we tell them that Guinness is lower in calorie than you expect, lower in carbs than you expect, lighter in terms of the way that it sits in your stomach. So all of those things that we've been preaching about for decades, this younger generation who is more concerned with things that are better for them than any generation before, Guinness is a part of that equation. And that's helped us in a big way with that younger drinking crowd.
All right, after 267 years, what does innovation look like? How can you innovate?
I mean, look, you can grab an Uber right outside, ride 10 minutes to the Guinness Open Gate Brewery right here in Chicago's West Loop, and you'll see very clearly what Guinness's innovation looks like thanks to people like Rachel and Nate. We're constantly looking for ways to innovate, to create new beers, to use new technology, to use new ingredients, whether it's dispense technology and working with Micromatic on some of the things that we constantly are emailing these guys about, but also the idea of Guinness being innovative and being creative, that's something that's not new to us. Our entire history is built around innovation. Guinness Draft Stout, the beer that you see in that video, the beer that everybody simply knows as Guinness, did not come around for us until 200 years after the founding of the brewery. Most people think it's the first beer we ever made. It's not Guinness number 1. It's Guinness number 9,853. So the idea of continuing to innovate, continuing to be creative, and listening to the experts, frankly. I mean, we surround ourselves at Guinness with thought leaders and people that really understand how to make an impact on our business. And when those people bring ideas to the forefront, you listen. It's as simple as that.
Sure. Well, congratulations on the Keg Champion Award. Congratulations, Guinness. Let's give them a round of applause. Can add that keg to the Hall of Awards for Guinness. All right, you guys, that is all we have for this year's USA Keg Champion Awards. Be sure to follow the Steel Keg Association on LinkedIn at that QR code. I'll leave that up for just a second before I quickly also move on to join the Micromatic booth for happy hour at booth number 3236 in the South Building. And that's all she wrote, folks. I'll put this code back up. Follow them on LinkedIn. Thanks, everybody.